All right, we will bring the Human Rights Commission working session then to, I was going to say to order, but this isn't really a that kind of meeting. We just want to introduce ourselves, please. Go ahead with Carolyn, and we'll come back.
Carolyn B. Kraft, Commissioner.
Zoe Apsey, Commissioner.
Kristen Nelson, Commissioner.
Thomas Commissioner.
And Cody Severson, Chair.
Aaron Kyrie, Commissioner.
And we have a community member here.
Katrina Robinson, Life Care Unites Foundation.
Thank you. Morning. And then we have some other community members coming in. And so I wanted to, I guess, first up we have just the committee updates. I'm not sure, that kind of goes with number 4 though, because we have the 3 individual subcommittees right now. And I don't even have a list of who's on the individual ones. Does anybody remember who they're on? Which one they're on?
I'm on education.
Education?
Yeah.
I think I'm on the response and then maybe education as well.
I'm on legislative.
Yeah, legislative as well.
Okay.
I would go with education.
Okay. Is the what?
My emergency leave.
You can be in education, yes. Is that what you're asking? Yeah. So I guess in terms of the response committee, have you all been able to get together and talk about? I know Xavier's also on that subcommittee.
We have not met at all.
No,
Okay.
we have not met. I have met with the city housing inspector and have shared my information with the rest of the committee, but we have not met as a committee.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. Okay. Fair enough. I guess let's bring that conversation down to the subcommittee then. I guess so we have 2 big topics today to talk about. The number 3, so the housing topic with the arbors at McCormick Park. We brought them into the last, we brought them into the last Human Rights Commission meeting. And so this is just a continuation of that conversation to see how we can help out with them. And I just wanted to open up the dialogue and if anybody had thoughts on the last meeting.
I mean, lots of thoughts, and I think there is need for involvement or just continuing the discussion and conversation. I don't have like an idea of like what our part or like what we should be doing, but I think continuing the conversation with more folks from the arbors to really understand everything that's going on, and then advocating for, I don't know, more collaboration or partnerships or services.
Sure.
My concern with listening to them is there's obviously issues there, especially at night, drugs and so forth. And I don't know if they have a police substation that's close or what, but it seemed that, at least according to the women that were presenting, that the calls for help are very long. And that is obviously an area that the city knows about and the police department knows about. So that was my concern about response times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it wasn't addressed, but it seems to me that it is an area that the city's very well aware of, and certainly they're aware of it. And whether there is a dedicated police looking at that area consistently or not, but it certainly is not a healthful environment for the residents.
I think, yes. And going off of that, I think you could very much tell that they feel like the PD doesn't, give them the time of day. Yeah. Doesn't care about their well-being. I mean, they said they're humans so many times, and it just feels like they feel like they're left, on the back burner. I mean, maybe, I don't know what the reasoning could be, I guess, but have we had a conversation, or can we have a conversation with PD about what that looks like, because I guess we can only speculate, right? And-
We can only speculate.
Right, and response times are what they are in staffing, and that's a universal hardship for everybody. However, when there's so many calls and so many concerns there, you can see how they feel like nobody cares about them, and thus the stigma continues, right?
Sure.
I guess a comment on that as well. There is kind of a subcommittee that was created that is the exec team from the Police Advisory and Oversight Board, Native American Commission, and Human Rights Commission that meets quarterly. And so I can certainly bring it to that meeting and ask them what the responses are, if we can have continued dialogue about it. Yeah. And then because this kind of splits off between like what we want to do within the community and then what we want to do as a recommendation board as well, and kind of keeping that tighter.
What about, when we talk about dialogue, bringing somebody from PD and somebody from the community, whether it be you, Katrina, or somebody that lives at the location, to the table, that could, get pretty toxic pretty quick. So whatever it would have to be very structured and very. Do you agree?
I have new information to add about the wanting to come in and do things and engage with the residents. There's been an abrupt policy change. So now the Arbors Management and Chisholm Housing Group are asking that events, any type of those like resources, classes must be done only during business hours. No weekends, nothing after 4 p.m., which is very limiting. It has already caused one community provider to not be able to come back to do events because all of the events that have been happening up until a few days ago were after hours because nobody wants to invade on someone's work schedule and taking children out of school. So now they said that they need to address staffing and internal things. So they really are wanting only things happening between 8 and 4, which is when the office is open. Because of the change, we will no longer be able to be on site there to provide things. So we are having to go ahead and go. It's sad because we want to be there, of course, for the residents, but we have to respect the policies of the company. So going forward, before anyone goes, hey, we could maybe do this or that, please keep in mind there has been a policy change since the ladies came and spoke. So we do need to respect that because unfortunately, even though it was kind of like an adverse thing that was indirect, the person that was coming in to do the events, they got grants specifically to do events for certain communities. So we don't want to waste our resources while we're trying to provide resources. And I just want to keep that in mind, that whatever is decided, please know that so that it's impactful, it's effective, and we're respecting their wishes. We're doing things within what they've now stated is the policy. It came abruptly, but I would rather let other partners know before you just go, well, we could come in on the evening. Right now, they're not extending that.
Interesting.
Well, that makes it very difficult.
I mean, I agree, only because we look at it from, well, like in this instance, it was a Valentine's Day bash, and it's supposed to be at 6, but now there can't be. So it caused a lot of things to be halted. Like the partner can no longer come in at all. So even though they had a whole calendar planned up to a point, now that's changed for them, which changes the structure of what they're doing. So it causes a ripple effect. And I know that y'all weren't going to be aware of that. So I wanted to make sure, hey, this has just happened. I have, a conversation that I can share. I don't know if Dr. Hogan would want me to do that, but I have copies so that you can see how it was. I'll go ahead and just pass them down. They're front and back. And this is just in response to us trying to figure out, hey, are we still on for these events? Since the manager that was there, Andrea, she has left. So they are looking for, to replace that position as well.
So the new manager left?
She did.
Thank you.
Is that the person they spoke so highly of?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, this just seems wrong not to just hand you
So
that way.
I'll take one.
Okay, and then y'all still need them down there.
And so it kind of sounds like there might be a staffing issue at the Arbors as well, which stinks, obviously. So yeah, I think we definitely need to engage with maybe like the education subcommittee can work on engaging with the Arbors as well more, or something to that extent. I think that just we need to have more dialogue to understand like what our scope is and how we proceed sustainably with them. Like going forward, how does the Human Rights Commission do any work with the Arbors to set a healthier environment?
Okay.
The relief or the response?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me just add up to the conversation. I think we can take a step forward by getting the police authority from the Arbors as well as the city inspector to just find a resolution on how we can move forward, as a community. Because with the change of policy, preventing community events from happening, that's a question as to why. So they might have a reason, but I think it would be very much appropriate and prudent to
And
have
as stated,
come up here.
I'm so sorry. The reason for why it changed is stated in what I've provided. So I just wanted to make sure I made this available to y'all because I'm in that position where I know, but then no one else knows. And then another partner had to find out the hard way with some, unpleasant, actions that followed. But it is stated that they are trying to handle staffing. And that was the reason that I was given. That is documented in the conversation. I think it might be the one from Shannon.
I'm meeting with Shannon next week for the food bank side of things, other programming, but thinking too, I might just ask some questions too of like, get some more information around this side of things too, not just food bank.
Right.
I'll wear two hats.
If you want to bring that to the next working session next month.
Yeah.
Because as well, we kind of, I don't know, my goal is to use this as an example of what to do with other like communities in Fargo, in the Fargo area as well. Because the Arbors isn't the only place that's impoverished and in need of extra resources in our community. So it'd be nice to know like what we do here holistically that can be like used in other communities, other smaller communities around town. Because this is kind of the only one that I know of that actually is coming forward to us, but probably not the only one that's in need of support.
So, in the midst of everything, have we heard back from the PD, or what is the involvement of the PD?
We haven't sent them a formal like response yet asking for more dialogue.
Okay.
I do have, there's a kind of a meeting of the 3 exec teams happening in the next month or two that I can bring this to and ask for dialogue. So I can bring that either to, I think to the April's meeting. It'll probably happen in March.
Gotcha. I think that would be a great way forward as well.
Sure. Yeah. And I can try to have that date set up by the next meeting. Dr. Hogan and I can work on confirming that in the next week. Since there's like 10 people involved, I don't think it'll happen by the next meeting, but we can try. Okay. So I think that's our comment for right now on it. No, I don't think that we have like a moving forward yet, but we're definitely having the dialogue to find out what the best pace is for that.
Can we just ask Katrina, what would you like to see
Sure.
come out of, our time together, but also, in light of this? Because I think after our last meeting, Cheryl and I specifically had some ideas we wanted to bring forward, but it doesn't necessarily sound like that can be possible. Like, what do you think, what do you envision? What are some things that you'd like to see be positive for the community?
Just in general, or going forward with this policy and trying to respect the new rules?
I think in general, I think like your big, dream or whatever, vision of what you'd like for arbors, with the families that were there, the folks that talked to us last time, what were some things that you'd like to see come out of that?
Well, sorry, great question, Christine. But I would also like you to add on this current policy. How does it impact,
Yeah.
your work with the community? Yeah.
How does it impact life care?
Yeah, your involvement with the community in terms of providing events. How does that impact you?
It's limited because, we're supposed to revisit having another memorandum of understanding to operate in the pantry building. But with everything that's going on, we feel like sometimes the best way you can be helpful is to step back from the center and go on the outskirts. So what we've done as an organization is we found other locations that still service the clients that we have, since we have clients that came sometimes as far as Bismarck or Holly to get things from us, and we're trying to strategically make sure we're there for not only that specified group, but other groups as well. Because one of the partners we're working with now, we have mutual clients. Some of them do come to her location for food pantry services that do live at the arbors. So it is a chance to still show outreach in other ways and other places that the people who live there interact, so that they don't feel abandoned or alone, and they know that, well, if it's not being provided here, I know where I can go. And maybe what would be best right now to respect the policy is, if we can't come to them, then field trips.
Right.
So technically, this policy or procedure put into place kind of limits your functions with them.
It limits not just our functions, which is why I brought the email. Another partner got limited, and in a way that they were not informed. I had to tell them, because right now there was nobody to. They don't have, again, that staffing issue. There's not a point of contact that people can really go through. So it's put us in this unique position. We're not trying to be this go-between, but it's kind of like, if I know what's going on and everyone here is trying to accomplish something, but if I don't share the information, it could waste so much time and effort. You might as well say something.
Right.
So my thing is, I'm from Texas. We're a get it done state. Can't do that, do this. That's just how me and my husband look at things. Sure. So if you can't be there, you can still have a presence in people's lives, but it might be good, since the environment isn't very safe. Get them to go experience the rest of the Tri-City area away from a place that is triggering and traumatizing, until the management has time to figure some things out. That would just be the best thing I could say in regards to this policy. But what I want for the arbors is for it to be a family education campus. Yeah. A family education campus where Everything's there for you to learn as a family for a specified amount of time so that you leave having the equity of knowledge, the equity of self-care, the equity of knowing how to be an informed consumer. It's all possible, but I don't believe it needs to necessarily be a subsidized housing complex. It can be so much more valuable to Fargo and the Minnesotas as a family education campus.
Sure.
People who want education are different from people who just want a place to live. The mindset is different. And I think it's really a mindset change. The residents have shown they have a mindset that they will work for things.
100%.
But I think it's now a group effort to give them what they're asking for.
So how do we get that mindset to spread though? I feel like this is just a barrier to creating that. You know what I mean? Like,
Of course.
yeah, like you have such a beautiful like outlook on the situation,
Well, thank you.
and I think that's really freeing. Number one, because then you can spread that amongst the community members who might really see this as just another way to keep them down. You know what I mean? So we need more of that. We need like, how do we spread that to other folks that are trying to make change at the arbors?
Well, I mean, our organization is in a very delicate balance. We don't mind helping and being part of the conversation and doing our part, but we need other organizations to be just as gung-ho and just as in it to win it, because the prize is a happy, healthy, safe community. And when we have happy, healthy, safe communities, we have adults who can go to work. We have children who are ready to learn. We have young people who are ready to embark on whatever their next step is. That's what we have.
Is it your sense that this is a temporary policy change until they get new management, or is it your sense that this is it?
Well, this is where I'm going to be real honest. You think anybody hopping to work there? I don't know how long it will be before their staffing is complete. Like,
Sure.
this is the policy. And I'm just here to go, look, this is what we're dealing with now.
So for the foreseeable future, Xavier, do you have a comment?
Yeah, is there a high police presence at the arbors? Are there a lot of police patrol in that area?
I know
That's a really hard thing for me to
that's an
answer, as I'm not there in a capacity for that.
Is anybody here typically at the arbors, or is there anybody that's in the room?
No, I think Zoe's having a conversation with Great Plains Food Bank about that, though, or with Shannon
Okay.
About programming.
at the Arbors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just my closing thought on this issue. I really want to appreciate your tenacity on this matter, and I think as a commission, the first thing we have to do is to take a step forward. Like I said earlier, inviting the arbors over, and the police authority. We all need to come up with a resolution on how to move forward. But me, and also personally, restricting events between business hours. I mean, I don't know. I don't really. I mean, okay with that, because your business hours, restrict the kids' time. The kids have time to go to school. They get time to get off school during that specific period of time, and the weekend is the most feasible time that they need to participate in community events. So we have to really have that discussion and see how we can kind of find a compromise and move forward. So, thank you.
Thank you. So I think with that, we need to continue dialogue to find a better common ground to make the place a safer place. So I think that the education subcommittee response, I don't know, which subcommittees do you want this under?
I don't know. It could be a joint meeting.
Okay.
I didn't hear any of that.
Just to push it forward, I kind of want to stack it underneath the subcommittee to talk about in between the sessions.
Okay.
So whether it's a response subcommittee or the education subcommittee, or if y'all want to just jointly meet and get back to us.
Because I think, Katrina, you bring up that family education campus. I've like looking online, there's so many different examples in other cities of how they're doing building community and placemaking. I think there's so many examples that we could be looking at and just seeing how it works in our community. So I appreciate that family education campus sentiment.
Thank you.
But yes, I think, can we just, with the whole meeting laws, can we just email and set up a meeting time amongst ourselves? Or how do we set up a committee?
Individually, yes. Like if you wanted to, like,
So like if I email the response and the education committee and we set a time and send notice to you, that's all we have to do?
I believe so.
Okay.
I have one last thing to add as far as the policy. I think it will make a bigger impact if more community providers contact
Shannon.
Shannon and Betty directly, because there's so much we want to do.
Yeah.
But we need to let them know, is there any way we can work something out? Because they need to know the impact from
Right.
others, you know?
Yeah, and they were talking so highly about Path or about Nexus. Are they aware of this new?
This policy just came to me Monday after
yesterday.
waiting
Yeah.
about a week and a half to get an answer.
So no.
No one knows now. But
Would it be
y'all-
helpful if one of us reached out to them?
Sure.
I mean,
And I mean, for whatever it's worth, I think that this is also just an issue of like a business making a business decision and not really like pivoting their lens over to how can we strategically like invite other community partners in to make a better environment. And so I think that just having a conversation to adjust the lens on that a little bit might be helpful.
Our community partner day, we're not able to have it. It
Sure.
would be our third annual one, and everyone has a great time, learns, gets the resources they need. I know Zoe, I think you were there for one of the community partner days. It's a hype time.
Sure.
It's a time where people are actually learning what's available in the community and able to make that engagement and get enrolled and get connected. But with this policy, we wouldn't be able to really do that. So we want to be able to have that at least, and I want residents from the Arbors to still be able to keep choosing upward mobility. At the very least, I would still love for them to have an option to have that. I don't know how we'll make that happen.
sure.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so in the interest of everybody's time, we'll move on to the next one and having continued dialogue over this housing issue though as well. So in regards to subcommittee assignments, so Carolyn, I have you on education. Zoe, response and education. Kristen, on kind of the same, and response and education, or are you just education?
Legislative.
Legislative. Okay. Tamba, legislative? Anything else?
I mean, crisis response would be okay.
Okay. And Aaron?
I'll do respond on education.
I think we were switching it from crisis response to just response committee, just because we wanted to point out different things that are going on in the community.
Wait, do we have a response committee and crisis response?
It's just going to be response.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, sorry. So Xavier and I met last week to talk for a little bit, and he had commented on the idea of like pivoting the term crisis response over to just response.
Okay.
Just to make it more like just broad.
Broad, yeah.
And so if that's okay with, we'll just head that way. That way, like even in terms of what's happening at the Arbors, if you wanted to put together like a comment on it that we can propose to the public, like that's totally within your wheelhouse as well. And even Zoe and I were talking a little bit before this as well, and the Great Plains Food Bank, Melissa Sobolik over there had just announced the other day that they had a record-breaking year. And so, like, making a response to that even would be nice. But okay, any other comments on that?
No, so from the local things, responsibility of functions remains the same, just the nomenclature changes.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, Dr. Hogan and I will work on kind of just strengthening what the communication looks like between all that in the next month. Probably not by the next meeting since it's happening next week, but we'll try to get done by the next working session. Okay. After that, I just wanted to mention that the PAOB, NAC, and HRC are working on the next kind of exec collaborative team meeting between us. It'll probably happen in March, I assume, but we'll start talking about that in the next week, in which we'll bring up this response to the arbors and find out how that continued dialogue looks. I guess anything, it's a broad statement, I guess, but anything else that people want me to bring to that meeting to ask about?
There was an incident. I'm not too sure where exactly it was at, but I believe it was downtown with a man named Phil. Are we able to get more information regarding that?
I'll try. So just generally with somebody named Phil, there was something that happened recently?
Well, he was falsely identified, I believe, and taken or arrested.
Was this
This is West Philomene and
brought him forward?
Okay.
Okay.
And another person brought it forward at the city commission meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, and I can ask for more information on that.
Okay.
Because I know that Wes had also brought forward a new recommendation for an addition. I think he'd like added to the police department, and they were talking about that. I don't remember if they actually passed that or not. Commissioner Strand, what?
I think West Philomene wanted to look at the policies and bias policing.
Did anything end up
Yes,
changing?
and bias.
Did they end up voting on anything that night on it?
I'm sorry, I missed that.
No, they didn't vote on that.
There was no vote.
No.
Okay.
But I think one of the issues that he raised was the over-targeting of people of color for traffic stops, et cetera, and do they keep those statistics? And I'm not sure that they keep the statistics
Sure.
by race or whatever. So without the data, you have to have the data.
Okay. Okay.
And the mayor also made a comment at the last city commission meeting that he and the chief of police is that they're working on some kind of an annual report, to bring back to the public.
Yeah.
In regards to, those
Okay.
biases and prejudices and so forth.
Okay. So yeah, I'll bring that forward in that meeting and bring it back to the commission then.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So also in the interest of time, so I know that we only have like this, the chambers until 11 a.m. If people still want to talk, I believe that the DEI suite is still open if people want to talk after 11 a.m. as well. So just want to throw that out there. So 6 and 7 kind of interrelate as well. Two things I wanted to bring up. I was asked, and Barry Nelson was asked to go to a class over at Concordia and talk to their social activist class the other day and talk to them about the workings of the Human Rights Commission, the past and present. And so that class is looking to be here. There's like 20 students. They're looking to be here at the next Human Rights Commission meeting next Thursday. So just FYI for their civic engagement, they're planning on being here and hearing what we do and that sort of thing. That was kind of fun. They were asking for a strategic plan of the Human Rights Commission, so we went into that a little bit. Also, in an interesting side note, the county coroner had messaged Ahmed a month or so ago asking about additional resources for cultural competency for their employees, for individuals who die, and if and they don't have any information for their families who are coming forward, that there was a problem there that they had found, that they reached out to the DEI suite to kind of help figure out. And so they had put together a meeting yesterday, and there were about, I think, at least a handful of other organizations of other nationalities and so on that came together to give some cultural competency advice to the coroner. And I was just there as a rep from the Human Rights Commission. They had a really good showing. They intend on keeping the meetings going. I just thought that that was a really nice thing that a city entity did.
That's really interesting.
Like, yeah, nobody prompted them. They they were just like, we're having a problem with these other individuals in the city who we don't have any information on, culturally speaking, and they wanted help. So, yeah. There was Nyamal was there, Victoria was there, Fauzia was there, Connie was there, and a few other folks. And yeah, it was just fun. I know Dr. Hogan's going to get synced up with them as well to find out more information. Yeah, I just wanted to let everybody know about that. It was kind of cool. So one of the main other things that we have going on is we wanted to bring up the ceasefire resolution for Palestine that has been kind of circulating in the community. I know we have some community members here right now who wanted to talk about it, that had brought it up to the City Commission a couple of times now through public comment. And I know that kind of the methodology right now is that these human rights issues would come to the Human Rights Commission, that we would talk about them. If we approved them, then we could recommend them up to the City Commission, and the City Commission would talk about it, and then it kind of has that flow. So that's what we're doing here today. I had sent the resolution that they had put together in an email out to y'all yesterday, and I guess right now it's either if y'all have questions for them, if they wanted to tell us some more stuff, however we want this dialogue to work. So I'll leave that up to y'all to do, but or if you want to give a brief overview of the resolution.
I guess primarily the reason for us being here today was to kind of get some feedback from all of you as far as your opinion of the verbiage and the statements made in the resolution, and to kind of just hear from y'all how you currently feel about it.
And I just want to put out there, I really enjoy that so like you're not asking for like a budget item or funding or like even really staff time, because you already have this put together. You're asking for at the bottom it just advises that you would like the city clerk to just make this available for like the city of Fargo to post and for the city commission to stand by, which is a humanitarian issue.
That's correct.
So I thought that was nice. Does anybody else have thoughts on it?
I thought it was really well written, and I appreciated the affirmations at the bottom. I think it really lays it out for folks if they're reading it. It's not asking much; it's just asking to post it and support.
Anybody have critiques?
Critiques?
Any issues?
I mean, for me, I think the message was very timely, calling for a ceasefire.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of politics, around the issues that's going on, and people have their own personal opinion. But as an HRC, I think it's very fundamental that we stand against violence and killings. The right to life is it's a universal right. Everybody deserves to live. So the first and foremost thing is calling for a ceasefire, which is very important. And following that, there's going to be a lot of universal discussions as to how the Palestinians and the Israelis going to move forward. But I think as an HRC, it's very, I really appreciate us standing and calling for a ceasefire. Yeah.
I would agree, and I really appreciate how, like you said, affirming it is of Fargo's just overall status as a welcoming community to all people. But yes, I would support that.
Because I guess even in reading this again, this doesn't state anything we haven't stated before. We're affirming Fargo's status as a welcoming community for those of Jewish and Islamic faiths and any other religions. We're standing firmly against the rise of and all acts of racially motivated violence and hate crimes perpetrated against our Jewish, Muslim, Palestinian, and Arab constituents here in Fargo and around the United States, and the right of self-determination of all peoples, recognizing the legitimate desire and need for Palestinian self-determination, as well as the legitimate desire and need for Israeli and Palestinians to live in safety and security. Those are all humanitarian rights. I guess the question for Commissioner Strand, would you like, as a thought bubble from the City Commission, would you like to see anything different, or do you have any other advice?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I haven't seen the resolution till this discussion right now, so I'm listening and learning, but process-wise, my thoughts are the Human Rights Commission has the ability and the expectation to advance topics that you believe are relevant and current. And that can happen a couple ways. One might be, I would suggest you ask to present it to the City Commission and ask for their support. Now, they may not entertain that. It may not get onto the action items because people don't always want to talk global politics. At a minimum, if it doesn't get to the commission for a vote or have a support of a vote, at a minimum, I will carry your message forward in liaison reports and share your resolution and your message to the full commission, absent any action on it otherwise, if that makes sense.
Sure. Thank you. So yeah, I guess this is kind of the first reading that we have as a Human Rights Commission per se, and then we'll bring this to the commission meeting, the Human Rights Commission meeting next Thursday to have a vote on passing it as an actual resolution up to the City Commission then.
Just a thought too, the agenda will be set that day at noon, next Thursday. So if there's a timing issue, maybe you have, I don't know how we can not lose 2 weeks of traction time-wise, but that's the day the agenda is set at noon for the full commission.
Working sessions?
I'm not supposed to.
Is there a way we can be polled prior to?
We can poll electronically, yes. Dr. Hogan and I can try to figure that out in the next week, if we can have this set up. Because I mean, I still want to vote on this as a full commission as well. That's just an unfortunate timing issue. If I asked Kimber, would she pause for like an hour or two, or is that municipal code?
What you might do is have the resolution in her possession.
Okay.
And ready to go, and then you give her the green light as soon as you have it and put it at the very beginning of your action items.
Sure.
That day. Or maybe you meet 15 minutes earlier and have your action attended to, and she would have her noon deadline met. But
so ask Human Rights Commissioners to convene about at 11:45.
That would work if you could do it. If the room's available, that would work for the city, and then put that right at the very beginning of your agenda and send it right up to Kimber.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, we can ask. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I guess, is there anything else that y'all would like to add to it?
I did just have one more thing. I think it's important to continue to draw attention to the fact that it isn't just an issue far away from us, because that's the most counter kind of argument I have heard, and really emphasizing how close to home this is, between how much our taxes contribute, but even beyond that, how many community members we have directly affected. So I think just continuing to emphasize that would help.
And I guess with that, were you going to go?
Well, you might be able to kind of even, this kind of talks with what she was just talking about. So just how is Fargo different from other cities that have passed this resolution? That's just a question I'm wondering. Like a genuine question.
I know that the other cities that have passed resolutions are like multiple times larger than Fargo. I don't know. I don't have an answer to that, though. Do y'all?
Didn't Fargo pass a resolution in support of Ukraine?
I know we have a sister city, don't we, over there?
I don't know.
Commissioner Strand, do you remember if City of Fargo passed a resolution in support of Ukraine?
I don't remember if we had an actual resolution. They put the Ukrainian colors on City Hall.
Yeah.
We had presentations at the city commission. I don't remember if there was a vote on a resolution specifically. Commissioner Preston may have I'm sorry, Sure.
And I guess my question, do you know if there has been an escalation of violence locally for the community?
Sorry, can you repeat that? I couldn't hear you.
Do you know if there's been an escalation of local violence, like within like the Palestinian community here?
So I don't know of anything specifically happening. I mean, if you look at the comments, for example, in the forum, and kind of you get a feel for where some people might be at and where their thought process is at, which I think is important to think about.
Yeah, I think if we want to brand ourselves as an inclusive city, that would be the move, right? Because, yeah, you're right. Some of those comments are pretty disheartening and pretty ugly. So I think the show of support would speak volumes.
I too also am very close with many of the Palestinian American community members, and I do know that they have been confronted out in public. I have been present when they have been screamed at downtown, told that they're terrorists and should go home to their countries. So there has been an escalation to some degree. And those are just a couple that I have been present for. They have also expressed to me that they do not feel safe in their community. And they have also felt dismissed when they have been told by their representatives that they want them to feel safe. Mm-hmm. They don't feel like that's being followed through on.
What are some resources that we could start looking into to help people who feel dismissed? Like, who are advocates in the community that are actively trying to help these people who are, just trying to live?
If you are looking for some people who are currently active in the community, who are in favor of the ceasefire and in general the peace movement, Code Pink is very active. I myself am very active and work closely with Code Pink as well. Code Pink is involved both in Fargo and the Moorhead side. So if you know people in the Moorhead side who are also interested, Code Pink is affiliated with both sides.
Thank you.
Well, I know Fargo is involved in growing community in terms of varieties of people from different orientations. This is for very, very important issues. With that being said, I'm here thinking, do we have a community that we can identify with when it comes to the Pakistani people, to say, we have a presence of that community here with us. And with that being said, we can hear from them. We can hear their voice and their concern as it relates to whatever is happening. But then on that basis, we'll be looking at them as a community, which takes away the fact of looking at things internationally. Then we can address it holistically as a local issue for us.
Mr. Chairman, it was just pointed out to me the city of Fargo did pass a resolution about Ukraine.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I am looking for the exact verbiage because I did know about it. Somebody sent it to me the other night where it actually had the verbiage about it, and it was, in fact, passed and backed.
Good. May I add one more comment?
Yeah.
So one of our friends, her husband is Palestinian, and they've spent a lot of time in Palestine. Have three daughters, actually, that have spent time there as well. And one of the things that she said to me, just on a personal note, is that they've been doing this for a long time. I mean, they've been married 20 years. She's been doing peace work for 20 years. So giving people hope that there are people listening, that there are people wanting to take action, I think is really important. So her conversation with me about coming to speak was that she just feels exhausted.
Sure.
They're just tired. So I think that's an important aspect to look at.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Going off of that too, is I have had them, the Palestinian Americans that I know, say that they truly fear to come forward. Because when they return, they are at great risk for prosecution and abuse unjustly, even if they speak outside, like in a different nation. So that's also why it's very hard for them to come forward and speak for themselves. So that's also why we're seeing a little bit more difficulty for them coming forward.
Thank you guys for coming to share their thoughts and concerns with us today.
Yeah.
It's very brave what you're doing. I respect that. If possible, I would like to speak with you after this, because we like for people to feel included in this community through the events that we do. So if we're able to help with a more of a platform for people to feel seen and heard and welcome, I'm all for that.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay. Did you have any other comments? No? Okay. I mean, this feels like a positive thing moving forward for the ceasefire resolution. We will, figure it out within the next week how to bolster this and move it forward. Then, I guess.
So we'll move our meeting to 11:45, our HRC?
Potentially, yes. It's either going to be moving it to 11:45 or else just having an electronic vote.
Yep.
I'm not sure yet which one is more likely. But yeah, we'll work on that so we can have it on the city commission agenda for their next meeting. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
In terms of, so we got about 7 minutes left. In terms of our actual meeting next week, then, what I know, so we'll have the ceasefire resolution on our agenda, and then potentially, Dr. Hogan noted that Fargo Cast Public Health wants to bolster their anti-vaping or their smoking cessation campaign that they have right now, and they would like to talk to us for a few minutes about that as well. And so if we can offer them 5 minutes to talk through their campaign. So we have those two items. What other items do we want to see? I can try to have John Campbell come by to give us a report from the Fargo Moorhead Coalition to End Homelessness. I don't know what other organizations we want to bring forward right now.
This is for like any sort of topic for the next meeting, or
Correct.
Are we able to start like looking more into like who could help individuals who face bias in the community, like who could be advocates for individuals, whether they are, I guess I'm not, organizations, attorneys, lawyers, just people who could make an actual change, but also support these individuals who
You're talking about implicit bias?
More, I mean, it's a wide range of topics. It's not, it's beyond the bias, in my opinion. But
Okay.
just people who can, I don't know how to word it, but you know, just make that sort of push or change that we necessarily can't do as.
Are you talking about like writing policy?
No, like there's just,
I don't know.
I've been hearing a lot more about like just healthcare bias, education bias, policing bias in the community, and
So like a civil rights thing almost, right?
Hmm?
A civil rights maybe issue.
Yeah, they're.
I guess I would ask for you to get together with the education subcommittee and flesh out the thought and then bring it back.
Okay.
It sounds like a good thought. I don't know what to do with that quite yet, and it would be good to have that fully fleshed out first.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
I might have a contact for you if you want to chat later.
Perfect. Besides those two things, though, yeah, I'll talk to John, and that might be the meeting then. I mean, if we have time, we'll talk more about the subcommittees then and try to give more try to work on getting more fuller updates for that so that we can get some actionable things moving forward. Does that sound good?
Yeah, when it comes to the subcommittee, I think we need to find a way in which we can communicate, because
Sure.
a lot of the issues we're going to talk about, bring onto the table, has to be preceded by conversations and communication and interactions. Without that, we're just going to show up and nobody has anything to say, you know. So
Yeah,
we need to work on that coordination.
that's fair.
Is anyone familiar with like Slack or other programs similar to it? But,
Signal.
like something like that. We could do like a messenger sort of group, easy.
Don't we still have to do policy?
Yeah,
with
we
the-
have to be careful with
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that gets into the weeds a little bit with
open meeting.
municipal code. Yes, it'd be great to do that eventually. It's hard for subcommittees to talk as a group and not notice it out to the public, since it's a government entity still and not a grassroots organization. We'll get back to you at the Human Rights Commission meeting, talk more holistically about how we can do that. Okay. Well, with 2 minutes to spare, I think we're good to go for right now, unless there are other questions or comments. All right, folks. Well, what's up?
have
Oh,
any?
sorry.
Sorry, just teeny tiny, so quick. I did send the picture to you of the verbiage of the resolution for Ukraine. So you do
Awesome.
have that now.
Thank you. Okay, I'll send that out to the commission then. Perfect. Okay. The meeting will. Dr. Hogan and I will work on noticing our commission meeting by Tuesday of next week, probably. And then, yeah, we're good to go for right now.
Yeah, before doing that, how can we get the copy of the resolution? Was it
The
shared?
ceasefire resolution?
Yeah.
That was sent out in an email yesterday. I think if you didn't get it, I can resend it.
Fridays of
Yep, I can resend that out. That's fine. All right. Thanks, folks. Take care.